Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Demastered, a place where we celebrate our love for all things nerdy. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Wade.
On today's episode, we will be demastering The Lady Vanishes. This is our special Halloween episode where we are reviewing a Hitchcock movie. And so this is The Lady Vanishes, the 1938 movie. This was one of Hitchcock's earlier movies. It's more of his British film stint time. Mm-hmm. There's only one other movie he makes after this before he makes his first American movie. So this is really near the end of this era for him. Mm-hmm. I really like this movie. This is honestly one of my top Hitchcock movies.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I love this because it's a different suspense film than we've covered before. The only other one that kind of might be a little similar is Murder, which came out in 1930, so that was 8 years prior. This one is way better than Murder. Of course, I don't think Murder was our favorite movie, but it is an interesting work. But
yes.
Yeah. Because this one has very much that British slapstick comedy, but still has a lot of suspense. And it's more of not just like suspense with dread. It's just kind of fun and also just like mystery and being like, what is happening? Where are we going next? How are we going to reveal what happens on the story?
Yeah, I agree with all that. It felt there was very, very similar vibes in that you have this premise, and then like the point is like, oh, well, this is happening, and then why is it happening? How did it happen? I didn't feel like the twist. It wasn't quite as big. Like it wasn't like so overwhelming, you know, like some other films have been, but it was still a really good twist. It was still like, oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you rewatch this movie or even in other movies, there's definitely always those little hints here and there to help along. And it's something where maybe it's true because we're the more of a modern day audience, so we're not quite as like surprised by the twists because it's one that seems very likely to be in a movie today. But it's still a fun one. This movie is also interesting in the fact that it's another Hitchcock movie that's based on a book, but the script and everything was created like well before Hitchcock even was involved in this project. This was originally going to be filmed by like a different person and directed by a different person, but then it had been like a year or so that this project, when Hitchcock like had his eye on it, was like, okay, well, I'll pick up this project. And so like the people who worked on this project before, they're kind of the ones who are basically almost going to take the reins in the British film. Like after Hitchcock comes to the US and starts making American movies, they're like, well, you know, we need more people like Hitchcock or who can keep up with that type of style, or at least have some witty comedies per se in that. And so there's a little bit of like a lot of people worked on this project or before this project came to be, which is kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. But apparently, because I was reading more about like, well, you know, if the script was already created and the story was already there, not just because it was based off a book, but also because other people worked on it. It's also talked about how Hitchcock, who of course worked with his wife Alma, they were a power duo working together in all of his films, and like their biggest contributions I remember specifically was for like the beginning portion of the movie and then towards the end, like the very action part.
Oh, okay.
Yes, which is interesting because this is a movie where I personally didn't find it boring, but the beginning can be really slow because we spend a lot of time setting up who all these people are.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening and sometimes very loudly, and you're just like, what? Like, what's going on?
Because we're like, the story kind of starts off where they're in like a mountain, undisclosed European town. Everybody was waiting to get on the train, but they have to stay the night at this small hotel because there was an avalanche and they need to clear the avalanche before the train can go on the tracks. And so it's so many different people from all over Europe speaking so many different languages, all trying to fight for the limited space at this hotel. But not just all the Europeans. We also have like the rich girl and her friends there who get all the priority treat,ment.
Of course.
The best room in the house. Yeah. But yeah, we get introduced to a variety of couples or people like that because we are introduced to these two guys because we like, oh, maybe they're the main characters that we see them bickering.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yes. And they're both British and they're obsessed with cricket. Throughout the entire movie, that's their main concern is, what is the score? What is happening? We better make it. Everybody is inconveniencing us.
Man,
all that
it's
matters is...
It's so funny because I didn't even realize their whole issue was cricket. And like they're sitting there and they're just being so British, but they're just like, we have to get back to London and like it's a serious nature and like how could they make us wait? And then the one guy calls in from London and then the hotel keeper goes to get the guy like who's actually calling and they like pick the phone up and they're like, hello, are you in London? And
they're like, tell us the news. And they're like,
tell us the news.
What do you mean
what's going on in London? What's going on in London? And the guy's like, what do you mean you don't know? You're there. How could you not? And it's like, the score, dimwit. What's the score of the cricket game? And it's like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then, like, just to add some more
Does he,
of
like,
that
hang up on them, too?
Yes, they hang up. And then so the one guy comes back with, like, you've been waiting all day for this phone call. Oh, no, they're not on the line.
Get him back. Get him back. And they just kind of, like, walk out of the room.
Yeah. And then one of our other characters we meet is one of the rich girl, Iris, who's hanging out with her friends. And she is so hilariously dramatic about being like, it's that time in my life. I've done everything I want to. I have to get married now. Like, her friends are like, you don't have to do that. Are you sure you want to do that? Like, you can have fun with us. And she's like, no, I've traveled the world. I've done it all. Marriage is next, guys.
I like how she's like, she gives that whole big thing, like standing on the table about like laying down the title of spinstress, and it's like, dude, you're like 21. Calm down.
Yeah, it's just also funny because I'm like, clearly she likes the like fun and adventure, and clearly throughout this movie we see that, but she's like, nope, it's time to settle down. You got to get yourself that husband.
Woe is me.
Yeah. And so that's why she's getting on the train, because she's going to, England to go meet her husband and get married soon, which, she seems fake excited about it the whole time, because she's just, woe is me, but it's society telling me it's time.
Was it like an arranged marriage too?
Kind of, like, because her family's so rich and, like, his family's rich or something like that, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we are also introduced to Gilbert.
Oh my God. Okay. So this, I mean, we got to this scene and it pissed me off, which I think is an appropriate reaction.
Yes.
But yeah, so like Iris is like sleeping in her bedroom and gets woken up by like stomping above her and like all of this music playing. So she like calls down to the hotel manager and she's like, come see me immediately. And she's like, take all of this money, get rid of the people upstairs. This is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? I'm trying to sleep. And so he goes upstairs and it's just, this guy is sitting there, Gilbert, playing the clarinet of all things. and there's these three people like who are like folk dancing, like stomp dancing. And they're like, you need to knock it off. And he's like, but I'm playing, like, they asked me to play for them so they can do their thing. Like, it's not my fault. And they're all just like, get out. So he takes his stuff and he goes downstairs to her room, basically kicks the door in and is just like, this room, my room now. That bed, my bed now. Bathroom, my bathroom now. Get out.
Yeah.
And she's like legit just like sitting in bed like, what is going on? And he's just like going through her stuff and claiming all the space and like, scoot over. Like, I'm going to sleep there. You can sleep there too. I don't care. Or get out. I don't care. This is mine now. It's like, oh my God.
No, all the alarm bells were going off in my head during this
flags.
whole part. It's like, oh my gosh.
And she's just staring at him, just like the audacity. Like, she doesn't know what to do because I don't think I'd have known what to do, Like,
no.
What?
Well, yeah. And then Iris is kind of like, you need to get out. And then Gilbert's like, if you make a scene about this, I'll just tell everybody you invited me into my room. And she's like, yeah.
Which is like the
so
like the treatment of women, dude. Oh my God. I was just like, and of course she was like, okay, I'll be good. I'm like, are you kidding me? Find a knife and stab him. Are you kidding me? Get him out of your room.
Yeah.
He's all like, oh, it was smart to pay off the manager.
Yeah. It's like, well, this is my room now.
Yep.
But then she while he's in the bathroom, then she tries to secretly call downstairs. And then he was like, I see you got my room back. Thank you. I'll be leaving now. And you're just like, he just wanted to cause trouble with her to get the room back. And you're like, that's the introduction to these characters. You're like, oh boy. But while Iris had been dealing with this and like the stomping and stuff, she has a neighbor next to her that's staying at the hotel, and it's Miss Froy, an older lady who just seems, cheerful, chill, and just is like, I'm a governess. I'm just on my way back home, love my job, no big deal. And she seems kind of clueless, and you're like, okay, sweet old lady. That's interesting. And you get a couple scenes with her just like doing things, and at one point she's just like, oh, I love the music here. I love listening to the people, and there's a person outside her window playing a guitar, and she's just like, la da da.
She opens the windows, and she's very Disney, very like, oh.
Yes. Exactly. And you're like, okay, this is interesting for a Hitchcock movie so far. And then all of a sudden, the guy that was playing the guitar just like disappears. A person grabs him. And you're like, okay, that's weird.
Gone. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, oh,
bummer. Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. And then the next day, everybody is able to get on the train, and we've already met our cast of characters. We also get introduced to a few other characters shortly after, but while they're getting stuff together, Iris and Miss Froy kind of run into each other again, but Iris gets hit in the head with something. Like above a window.
Miss Froy drops her glasses or something, and Iris like, oh, I'll get them, and just like bends down, and there's like a pot that just like a flower pot just falls off the sill or whatever, and beams this poor girl in the head. Just like done. Like, I would have just like, kill me now. Yeah. I don't want to wake up from that.
Yeah, or like, that's intense. So then Miss Froy's like, oh, Iris, like, I will help you. And she's like, oh, thank you, old lady, for helping me on the train. And Iris says goodbye to her friends, because her friends apparently are just like, bye, have fun, married life. Okay. We're just having a single life. We're like, okay, cool. So Miss Froy helps Iris into one of the compartments, and they sit with it's a full train car of people, a full area, and Iris kind of goes in and out of consciousness, and then
because she's got 12 concussions, poor girl.
Yes. And nothing else except just rest right here, my dear.
Just totally sleep it off. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, let's go for some tea or a drink. Maybe that'll help you a little bit. So on the way, then we get introduced to another couple. We think initially they're a husband and wife, but we find out no, they're not. Dun dun dun.
A man and his mistress, but that's later.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Yes,
later.
Exactly. Yeah, but they bump into them briefly, and so they enjoy a moment in the car. They talk, and then Miss Froy's like, kind of, Iris, I guess you need to go back to our car and relax. So then she falls asleep, but when she wakes up, Miss Froy is gone. And she's like, that's weird. And then she tries to ask the other people that she's sitting with, and they're like, we don't speak your language. We don't know what you're talking about. There was never an old woman here. I don't know. And you're like, that's weird. What's happening?
And she's like right here in the corner. She's been sitting next to you. You were talking to her earlier. Like, what?
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, nobody was there. It's just been you this whole time. Just gaslighting her.
Yes. Hardcore. So then
this
Iris
movie is literally just gaslighting the movie.
Yes, it is. 100%. That's what I said. That's the alternate title for this movie. But then Iris is like, no, I'm not crazy. So then she starts to kind of retrace her steps, and everybody's like, nope, didn't see anything. So then she comes across,
everybody is I have it's just been you came to drink your tea on your own, there was nobody here ever.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that we have been watching the movie, we've been watching what's happening, and some of the characters that we've already been introduced, the two guys obsessed with cricket, they were actually there when they were having their tea time, and they're kind of discussing with each other, oh, that girl's making a racket on the train, but we don't want to get involved in that. Yeah, we might have seen that old lady, but we can't have her stop the train because we're gonna miss the match.
So they're hiding in the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah. And then the mistress and the guy, answered, is nope, haven't seen the lady. And the mistress lady is like, we totally saw that.
Why would you just lie through your teeth at them about that?
Yeah. And then that's when you find out about them that, they're both married, two different people, and they were taking this trip as a honeymoon-esque thing for them to spend time together. And you slowly find out from their conversation that the dude is up for some big judge position or something, and he's like, this is gonna ruin my reputation if I get divorced, if I'm seen with you in another area, I can't do this. And the woman's like, I thought we actually had something, but I see we don't, and you're kind of annoying me, and I'm gonna go talk to that lady because you don't want to be in the press, but I would love to get this stirred up because then you'll be with me.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'll kick this bucket over. Let's go.
Yes. But of course, Gilbert has to come back around in the story too. And he's a little bit less of a jerk, but at the same time, because she's like, hey, I know who you are. And he's like, what do you need help with? And she's like, I need to find this old lady that, saw. And he's like, I don't think I ever saw her, but sure, I'll help you. And then it's the continuous like gaslighting because there's a doctor on board the train as well.
Who's like some like world-renowned like brain surgeon, basically. So everybody knows him.
Uh-huh.
The clarinetist knows him.
Yeah. And they talk to her because they're like, hey, is Iris okay? Like, she claims she saw this woman. And he's like, I don't know. I think you might have a very serious head injury. I don't think we can trust what you've said. Like, there's no proof. There's no proof at all. I don't know what you're talking about. And so the story keeps building and building where Iris is just like, no, there are certain things. And she keeps trying to remember stuff about Miss Froy, about certain things. And then eventually you get to the point where Gilbert does find evidence as well. And he's like, oh, Iris, you were actually telling the truth the entire time. Sorry, but I did think you were crazy, but you're cute, so I've been with you. Like, that's for real, his vibe.
Damn clarinet players.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But there's so many little moments where, like, certain things that either Miss Froy had said at the beginning or certain things that she'd done, like she had wanted to share this particular type of tea and said, only make me this type of tea on the train. And like, that's the part where Gilbert realizes that Iris is telling the truth because they throw the trash overboard from the train. Okay.
It's 1938. Okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
They don't know any better yet.
Oh gosh. And like the wrapper from the tea, he sees it like stuck on the window as it starts like flying away. And that was the moment that he realized, oh yeah. So it's this whole adventure on a train just trying to figure out, well, we haven't stopped. So where is she? And it gets to be so wild because this is also a fun like train, like not quite whodunit, but it is still like a mystery thing, which I think is a little more thrilling than like Murder on the Orient Express movie.
Oh, shots fired.
I went there. Yes. Oh my gosh. But also like the conversations everybody has, like the dialogue is really witty and fun. Like there's just so many little like quips that are said between everybody. And this movie is really strong with the characters. Like, though I know we've briefly like covered like who these people are, but like they are very much their own characters. No person is alike on this train that we spend a lot of time with.
Well, it's just so funny because this thing gets set up where it's like somebody has taken Miss Froy, obviously, and is like erasing evidence all over the car that she ever existed for some reason.
Yeah.
But then everybody has their own excuse to why we're going to continue to gaslight this poor little thing about it. It's like they're not in cahoots. Everything just keeps working out really well, I guess, against her.
Yeah, because half of them are in cahoots, but the other half is no, just because they want to deal with their own business and get on with life. Yeah. And I think that's what adds to it, because it also just adds to the absurd comedy of like, no, like everybody's not gaslighting you for the same reason. It's just because other people just don't want to be involved in this.
Like, sorry, everybody sucks, girl, but like, we'll get you there. We promise.
Yes. But there's so many crazy twists and turns and wild things that happen with it. It's just... Because, Miss Froy does exist. And she is still on the train for the moment.
She is still on the train. And it kind of gets big when they go back to the food cart. And, like, Miss Froy had, like, spelled her name out in the window because, like, there was loud noises and, like, from the train. So they couldn't hear each other and they were, like, introducing their names. So she wrote Froy on the window. And so when Iris goes back to the car and she's like, oh my God, their name is still there. Like, and everybody's kind of like, oh, crap.
Yeah, but then that's the part where the train does stop because then they bring on the patient that the doctor's working on. And then the doctor comes back later and goes, wait, there is Miss Froy. Is this the lady you were talking about? And there's a lady dressed up exactly like Miss Froy. Exactly like Miss Froy.
Like, and she's just like sitting chilling right where Miss Froy was sitting. Like, you just left me here. What's going on?
Uh-huh.
Like, continue the gaslighting.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then some of the passengers are like, oh no, this is Miss Froy. This is totally who I saw earlier. Like, and I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, those other clues helps, and then they slowly try to figure out, where Miss Froy is, and they realize, like, oh, yeah, the patient, in quotes, like, traded places with Miss Froy, and that was the whole reason to get Miss Froy out. And Iris and Gilbert are kind of like, okay, well, we'll say Miss Froy, but why the heck do they want her? She's just this random old lady. There's nothing, like, special about her.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
That's all you know right now.
Yes. That's why I love how this movie turns into, like, a political thriller than us at a point.
Yeah, at this point, it takes this turn, because they have, like, the new Miss Froy, and then they go to, like, see the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a nun with the patient, except the nun is, like, she can't hear and she can't talk, allegedly.
Yeah.
And so they're, like, checking out the patient, and they're like, who's, of course, like, mummified, like, completely bandaged.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, I don't think this is her. Like, no, this can't be her. So they leave, and the doctor comes in. He's like, did they notice? And the lady is like, not a nun. She's like, no, like, we're good, man. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna invite them to get a drink, and I'm gonna drug them. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it, but I'm gonna drug them. So just drug them for me, and and we'll be fine. And then the lady's like, I'm totally not gonna drug them because they're British. I'm British.
Yeah,
we do that. And then she just totally rats the doctor out, and she's like, that person, that's Miss Froy. That's Miss Froy.
She's like, go for it, guys.
I'm just here. Yeah. I'm just watching. Like, I don't care. You know what we should do? You should totally get Miss Froy out of those bandages. Bring us fake Miss Froy. We'll put her back in the bandages. And then whatever, man. But, like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
like,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
And Miss Froy is like, golly gee, what an adventure this has been. And that's not even the end of the movie.
No. No, because, then the doctor realizes what's up after he brings the bandaged patient out, and you hear him, like, muttering about, like, now we're gonna get rid of you, wahaha. And while he's about to get, like, pulled away in the car, he, like, peels open the bandage, and he's like, wait a minute, you're not Miss Froy. So then he gets the whole thing with the train where they unhook half the train, so it's basically only, like, everybody who we've been watching on the train is left on the train, and they want to choose where this train will go next so they can deal with Miss Froy. And so you're, like, seeing everybody just chill, and Iris and Gilbert being like, yay, Miss Froy. And then they're like, wait a minute, there's something weird about this train. So then they tell everybody else on the train, hey, there's something wrong with the train. You guys, we're not going where we're supposed to. And everybody's like, stop making a big deal about this trip. We want to get home. Stop it. And they're like, no, literally look at the back of the train. We are the end of the train. And they're like, oh. Well, that's inconvenient. Yeah.
Fine, I guess we'll participate.
Yeah. So it's like basically, because they make a whole joke too about like, oh, it's tea time. All the Brits will be there. And so they're all sitting each other.
And they're all there waiting.
Yes. And you're like, okay. And then it does stop. And then we see, like, they're, like, in the middle of the woods somewhere randomly in Europe. And they're like, this is not England. What's happening? They're like, give us Miss Froy. And they have guns drawn. And it turns into this whole, like, shootout.
Yeah, they're like, there's, like, like, the caboose is just sitting there. And, like, with all the people inside it. And they're just, like, surrounded by all this, like, army of people. Like, just with guns on it. And they're all like, what? Like, what's going on? And, they want Miss Froy. And Miss Froy's like, Nope.
Yeah, she's like,
no, Miss Froy not here right now.
Yeah. And then one of the guys tries to, like, get on the train, and they, like, take him out, and then, like, they have, like, 1 or 2 guns on them, so then, like, a couple of them are trying to, like, shoot, while Miss Froy is like, hey, Iris and Gilbert, come with me over to the side of the car. I have to tell you something.
Don't worry about the people literally shooting into the cabin. It's not, it's fine.
And there is one casualty of our, like, core group, the guy
the
who
judge
was
guy.
On his holiday. He was like, you guys are not doing this right. We have no part of this. I will just, like, wave my little handkerchief as a white flag, and, like, we could be on our way. Not a big deal. And everybody's like, don't go out there. These people don't believe in that. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. And he's like, no, be a gentleman about this, guys. And then he goes out waving his little handkerchief and immediately gets shot.
Just done. He done. Yeah.
He's dead. Yeah, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, we're not leaving the train. And then Miss Freud's over talking to Gilbert and Iris going, yeah, can I loop you guys in on this? We have to deliver a secret message to our
So
government.
actually, I'm a member of MI6.
Yes.
And they're like, okay. Keep talking.
And she's like, yeah. She's like, we do codes and songs, so if you could help me remember this, we have even more of a chance to get this code over to our side. And Gilbert's like, I'm a music dude. I've got this. Talk to me. And then
she's like,
after,
she's like singing it to him, and he's like singing it back, and she's like, good, that's totally the code. That's how codes work.
Yeah. And then while the middle of the shootout's going, she's like, I think it's my time, guys. I'm gonna just head out of the car and just run my way over to our headquarters. And they're like, seriously? She's like, yeah. And so you watch her, she runs out of the car and you're like, is she gonna make it? They're shooting at her. Are we gonna see her? And she like disappears over the hill and you're like, I hope she made it. Surely she wasn't shot. Maybe. So then everybody else in the train has to escape and they have to get the train moving again to make it back to England while being shot at, while being chased. It's a wild time. Which, surprisingly, everybody that was still on the train survives because the nun lady is still on the train. She's like, I've joined forces with you guys. She does get shot, but she doesn't die from her wound because she's not shot in, like, a very, like, severe area. But they're all working together, and they make it back to England. And throughout the time, Iris and Gilbert have kind of grown close to each other. And they're supposed to part ways in England because Iris sees her future husband in the distance. And she's kind of like, I don't know about that. And Gilbert's like, I guess I'll let you go, but I kind of want to be with you forever. And she's like, haha, well, bye. And then he gets in a cab or something. And she's like, wait a minute. Never mind. I'm going to come with you.
Oh, a cab? Well, let's go.
Yeah.
I thought we were walking.
Yeah. And then they go to deliver. Well, they also go to deliver the message. And after being so swept up in this love for each other, the person will finally see them. And Gilbert's like, I forgot the code.
I forgot the code.
And you're like, dude, you had one job. But then as they enter the room, they're like, they hear the song on the piano and they're like, wait a minute, that's the code. And guess who's playing at the piano?
Miss Froy.
She killed it. She made it.
She did. And everybody's laughing and happy, and the movie ends. Ta-da!
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then World War II happens, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So I was like, this movie was made during a very interesting period of time. It was very telling what this was vaguely alluding to. Mm-hmm. One of the facts I read was that they originally wanted to be very specific and say the enemies in this were the Germans, but that, like, the film censors or something were like, you can't do this right now. You can't.
Hot button. Let's not do that.
Yeah. They're like, let's make it very vague of being some ambiguous European force. And you're like, yeah, that's very interesting. Very appropriate timing.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie, it's an hour and 37 minutes, so it's not personally overly long or anything. You get enough time to spend with the characters, and also just, especially when it gets on the train, like, things are really moving about, and you're like, what is going on? Let's unravel this mystery together. What's also wild, because this movie is very much like a contained movie and only very few locations. This was all filmed on a studio, like on a stage. And I was reading about how small the stage actually was. And it was like such a claustrophobic stage because it barely fit like one of the train cars or something on it, which is really crazy.
That makes sense because the sets, like, they're really small.
Yeah.
Like, every single location is really, really small. So I believe that.
Yeah. And I noticed too, like, because almost all of it was filmed like on a stage, there's a lot of uses of miniatures throughout, especially at the beginning. The whole elaborate town scene, and we see where the train is, they're all miniatures, but the way everything like moves, like, you can't, like, you can tell, but then also you can't because it's not such a glaringly obvious thing. But it's kind of cool to see a lot of big uses of miniatures throughout this movie.
Oh, like the beginning, like the intro?
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, well, that's pretty neat. Like, yeah, it's definitely miniatures, but neat.
Yes. Yeah. But it's also that, I mean, talking about like how it was such a small stage, but the fact that like all these train compartments aren't connected together in like real life, it's cool to see like the editing was done really well, and like the editing and the pacing to keep things moving together, keeping them coherent, and yeah.
So also like there are two like newer movies that are related to this movie. There is a 1979, The Lady Vanishes, that's very, very similar in some ways. It stars Angela Lansbury, so you know.
Yeah.
But it takes place in 1939, and it is the Germans. It is pre-World War II Germany. Like, they are very specific about that. There are some changes, though, like, to some of the characters, but the plot is basically the same, but it's supposed to be, like, more of a comedy, in a way, like, to go along with the mystery. And then I guess in 2013, they released another, The Lady Vanishes, which is like a made-for-TV movie, like, in England, but that's more based on the book, the original book from, like, 1936, than even Hitchcock's version was. So, like Miss Froy, not a spy, just a little old lady.
Yeah. Well, and then talking about our cricket couple duo, like they're made specifically for this film, but we forgot to talk about their ending for the movie, which after this whole time they've been talking up, they have to make it for the cricket game. They finally make it to England. The game was canceled.
For like flooding or something, right?
Yes.
Something like that. The game didn't even happen.
Yeah. Which apparently is actually based on a real like match. Like that was actually based on what happened to an actual real cricket match where it flooded, so they couldn't play it, but it was just really funny. It just adds to that like quirky comedy bits of, you know, their whole entire journey was for no reason. Like they ended up missing the thing that they wanted to see because it was due to things out of their control. Yes.
We have Charters and Caldecott. Those two.
There's so much with those two.
So unbothered about the small little world around them.
Exactly. But I guess another thing we didn't mention, so because this is one of the older Hitchcock movies, and it's a movie that came out in the 30s, it is in black and white, but it still is a movie with sound. So that's why you definitely get to hear all the witty dialogue.
And the quality, the sound quality was really good.
Yes.
I was like watching the movie, and like the cinematography and the speaking and just everything. I was like 1939 or 1938. This seems really like ahead of its time, which is a Hitchcock thing. You know, he does that quite a bit. But I was just like, everything seems so like, I don't know, coherent.
Yeah.
For such an old movie.
Yeah, and then also talking about the sound, another thing I was reading too is that there isn't a lot of music throughout it. Like we get to really focus on like what's happening in the scene as well as like whether
train
it's
noises and such.
The train noises or the dialogue in general. And I think it was because of the focus was only to really highlight certain of like a few of those songs that popped up, as well as just to focus on the story.
Quick question, you know, like a million times throughout the movie, like the train whistle happens. Every single time that damn whistle went off, I was like, that lady's screaming. Like, it wasn't a train whistle, it just sounded like a lady screaming. Every single time. It was like a singular pitch, and I swear, like we don't have a train whistle for special effects. Let's just, like, have a lady scream. Like, I need to, like, look it up. That's my conspiracy.
That's funny. I didn't fully notice that if it sounded so much like a lady screaming.
It really did. It was like the way it was like that the sound was like enunciated, if that makes sense. It was so it's a
very sharp noise, that's for sure. Yeah.
It's very shrill, but like it sounds like a person, not a thing.
That's interesting because you really could figure out if that was true, like how that would very much play into the story.
The first like 3 times it happened, I was like, who's screaming? And then I was like, oh my god, it's supposed to be the train whistle.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Okay.
Let's see if there are any other things to discuss with the movie.
No, I just, another Hitchcock movie we've got to check off the list.
Yes.
And, Chelsea and I, we started this a couple years back now, I guess.
Yes.
But we just kind of keep finding excuses to, like, slip another one in. Like, we did, was it Hitchcock's birthday we did?
Yes.
Like an anniversary of a movie we've done. Like, we just kind of keep finding excuses to do them. And it's like, what a fun adventure we've been on with these movies.
Yes.
You've introduced me to a world of cinema cinema that I would not have gotten to do. So
Yes,
let's keep
I'm
going.
glad.
Let's keep it
Yes.
keep it going.
Yeah, listeners, give us some suggestions of some of your favorite Hitchcock movies that we haven't covered yet, because we'll be at least covering at least 2 next year, one again for his birthday and of course our Halloween episode. So yeah, let us know which ones we should cover. There's definitely a couple of mine. I know we haven't covered a few big ones, so I'm sure we might do one of those soon, but you know, he just has a wealth of films of so many things to cover that, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to diving into more.
And just a precursor to our next episode, maybe?
Mm.
Join us next week when Chelsea and I will be celebrating the last 25 years of gaming.
Yes.
Look out on our social media, and we'll be posting quite a bit on that. Asking you questions about your memories in gaming and stuff like that. So we'll be looking forward to that next time.
Definitely. That'll do it.
I think so. And that's it for another episode of Podcast Demastered.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, don't forget to follow and subscribe, leave us a review, and tell a friend.
If you have an episode idea, send us an email at demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook @Pod Demastered.
Thanks for listening, and tune in for the next time we demaster our favorite things on
Podcast
Demastered.